In the heyday of the sideshow, the circus would roll into town with lurid banners enticing curious people to part with their money for a glimpse of nature gone wrong. Inside those dimly lit freak show tents, they encountered living nightmares, horrifying mutations of humans and animals, conjoined twins, bearded women, pinheads, giants, alligator and lobster boys, human marvels whose very existence defied logic and reasons. Often mocked and cast out by superstition, they found purpose in the circus, where their uniqueness was both accepted and profitable. Here are some of the most famous and fascinating circus freaks from the annals of sideshow history. Number 15. Pasqual Pinon. Well, let's begin with something unbelievable. Pasqual Pinon, better known as the Two-Headed Mexican, was a railroad worker whose unusual appearance caught the attention of a sideshow promoter. On top of his head, he had a large cyst or tumor, which showmen exaggerated to appear as a second head. To heighten the effect, a facial prosthetic was designed, painted with features resembling eyes, a nose, and a mouth, creating the illusion of another face. Though the practice was exploitative, it brought Pinon income that allowed him to support his family. He toured across North America, where the fabricated deformity fascinated large audiences and ensured his notoriety. Crowds were both disturbed and amazed, eager to witness what was advertised as a man with two living heads. While the spectacle relied on illusion, Pinon himself became a memorable part of circus history. He is remembered today as a tragic yet remarkable figure, someone who turned hardship into survival through sideshow fame. He was a legend. Number 14. Wang, the human unicorn. Wang, later dubbed the human unicorn, never set foot on a freak show stage. He was found in Manchuria in 1930 by an opportunistic banker who photographed him and sent the image to Robert Ripley. Growing from the back of Wang's head was a horn, measuring 13 inches long. Ripley, fascinated by the anomaly, offered money to bring Wang to his auditorium, eager to showcase him to Western audiences. But after the photo made its way to Ripley, Wang was never heard from again. No records of his arrival, no confirmed sightings, and no trace of what became of him. Whether he refused the offer, disappeared, or met an untimely fate remains unknown. The photo, however, lived on. It became one of Ripley's most circulated oddities and sparked widespread speculation. Wang remains a mystery, a real-life curiosity who vanished as suddenly as he appeared, leaving behind only a haunting image and unanswered questions. Number 13. Edward Mordrake. Edward came from a wealthy and noble English family in the 19th century, yet his life was marked by a bizarre and disturbing condition that you can't imagine. On the back of his head grew a second face, said to whisper to him at night with vile and unsettling words. Desperate to escape the torment, Edward sought help from doctors and spiritualists, but no remedy was ever found. Consumed by despair and unable to bear the constant haunting, he reportedly ended his life at a young age. His story endured as one of the strangest medical accounts of its time, often retold as a chilling example of human deformity. Though considered more legend than fact by modern historians, the tale of Mordrake continues to fascinate, lingering in both medical folklore and popular imagination. He is remembered as a tragic figure whose supposed condition blurred the boundary between reality and myth, leaving behind a haunting legacy. Number 12. Lionel the Lion-Faced Man. Christian Ramos was born in Poland in 1891, covered head to toe in thick, coarse hair, likely due to hypertrichosis, a rare genetic condition. His mother, traumatized by witnessing her husband mauled by a lion while she was pregnant, believed the child was cursed. She abandoned Christian at age 4, leaving him in the care of a man named Sedlmayr, who began exhibiting him throughout Europe. By 1901, Lionel arrived in the U.S. and joined the Barnum and Bailey Circus. His unusual appearance quickly made him a sideshow favorite. Later, he performed at Coney Island, captivating audiences for years. Eventually, Lionel retired and moved back to Germany, where he lived a quieter life. In 1932, he died of a heart attack. While his life began in cruelty and spectacle, Lionel found a kind of belonging under the spotlight. He remains one of the most recognizable faces in circus history, an image equal parts tragic and unforgettable. Number 11. Four-legged lady Myrtle Corbin. Myrtle Corbin, famously known as the four-legged girl from Texas, was a dipygus. She was born with a rare deformity caused by conjoined twinning, resulting in two separate pelvises and a smaller inner set of functional legs. At just 1 month old, her father began displaying her to neighbors for a dime. By 13, she was performing with P.T. Barnum and later joined the Ringling Brothers and Coney Island's Freak Show. By 18, Myrtle had earned enough to retire. She married and went on to have 5 children. It's claimed that 3 were delivered from one reproductive tract and 2 from the other. Despite her medical condition, Myrtle led a full life beyond the spotlight. Her uniqueness fascinated the public, but she was also a mother, a wife, and a woman who made peace with her circumstances. She remains one of the most memorable figures in sideshow history, not just for her anomaly, but for the life she carved out around it. Number 10. Prince Randian. Prince Randian was born in 1871 in British Guiana, and this guy became icon in sideshows as the human serpent. He was born without arms or legs, yet his abilities astonished all who witnessed him. Despite his condition, Randian displayed remarkable agility and ingenuity. Using only his torso, shoulders, and mouth, he could roll cigarettes, light them, paint, and even shave. His smooth movements across the floor resembled a serpent, giving rise to his stage name. Randian gained prominence in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, eventually joining P.T. Barnum's Circus, where his performances amazed audiences. His skill, charm, and humor elevated him beyond curiosity. He became a symbol of resilience and determination. His fame grew further when he appeared in the 1932 film Freaks, where his unique abilities reached wider audiences. Prince Randian remains remembered as one of the most inspiring figures in sideshow history, a man who turned severe limitations into extraordinary strengths. Number 9. Ella Harper. Ella Harper, known as the Camel Girl, was born in 1873 with congenital genu recurvatum, a rare condition that caused her knees to bend backward. She walked on all fours, with her hands and feet on the ground, earning her the nickname that stuck throughout her short career. She joined W.H. Harris's Nickel Plate Circus in 1886, where her appearance drew enormous curiosity and made her one of the top-paid performers at the time. Her promotional posters highlighted her condition with dramatic flair, yet very little is known about her personal life. After her brief circus run, she vanished from public records. No confirmed information about her later years exists. What little we know of Ella is preserved through a few grainy photographs and circus advertisements. Her story is one of fleeting fame, built entirely on the uniqueness of her body. Number 8. Fanny Mills. Fanny Mills was born in Ohio in the 1850s. This woman lived with Milroy disease, which is a congenital condition that caused severe swelling in her legs and feet. This super-duper rare disorder made her feet grow to extraordinary size, measuring nearly 50 centimeters long and 20 centimeters wide. Exhibited as the big-footed woman, she drew large crowds curious to see her extraordinary condition. Despite the challenges, Fanny turned her difference into a career, performing in circuses and dime museums where she earned enough to support herself and her family. Audiences were both amazed and sympathetic, marveling at her strength of character. She became a well-known figure in sideshow history, remembered for facing her condition with courage and pragmatism. Sadly, her life was cut short when she died in 1899 at the age of 39. Though the exact cause of death is uncertain, complications from her illness likely played a role. The legendary Fanny Mills left behind a legacy of resilience and fascination. Number 7. General Tom Thumb. Charles Stratton, better known as General Tom Thumb, was born in 1838. He stopped growing at 6 months old, only to resume slowly in 1847. At 18, he measured just 2 feet, 8.5 inches tall. At 5 years old, Stratton began touring with P.T. Barnum, achieving worldwide fame and wealth. His popularity led to a long career and a close business partnership with Barnum himself. He lived lavishly and traveled extensively, eventually marrying fellow performer Lavinia Warren in a widely publicized wedding. In 1883, Stratton died of a stroke at age 45, just 6 months after escaping a deadly fire at Milwaukee's Newhall House that killed 71 people. At his tallest, he stood 3.35 feet and weighed 71 pounds. His legacy endured as one of Barnum's most iconic acts, and his story helped shift public fascination with sideshow performers into mainstream entertainment. Stratton remains one of the most recognized names in circus history. Number 6. George and Willie Muse. George and Willie Muse, African-American brothers born in Virginia in the late 19th century, were both albino, a condition that made their appearance strikingly unique. In 1899, they were kidnapped and forced into sideshow exhibition, separated from their mother, Harriet Muse. Promoters exploited their condition, billing them under invented names such as Echo and Eco, and labeling them Martian ambassadors. Audiences were drawn to their pale features and unusual hair, unaware of the exploitation behind the scenes. For years, the brothers toured circuses across the country, their talents reduced to spectacle. Despite this, George and Willie displayed musical ability and resilience, surviving in a world that profited from their difference. Eventually, their mother located them and fought for their freedom, winning back her sons after years of exploitation. The Muse brothers are remembered today as both performers and survivors, symbols of endurance and injustice in the history of sideshow entertainment. Number 5. Schlitzie. Schlitzie, born in 1901, became one of the most memorable sideshow performers of the 20th century. He lived with microcephaly, a condition that gave him a small head and developmental challenges, yet he found joy in performing and entertaining crowds. Schlitzie's playful spirit, infectious laughter, and childlike personality quickly won over audiences wherever he appeared. He sang, danced, and joked with a natural charm that made him a beloved figure in circus sideshows. His fame expanded when he appeared in Todd Browning's 1932 film Freaks, portraying himself and captivating moviegoers with his unique presence. Although often displayed as a curiosity, those who worked with him described him as gentle, warm-hearted, and deeply endearing. Schlitzie's life story is remembered not as one of limitation, but of resilience and expression through performance. His legacy continues as a symbol of individuality, acceptance, and the ability to inspire joy, even while facing challenges few could imagine. Number 4. Grady Stiles. Grady was the 4th generation in the Stiles family born with ectrodactyly, a genetic trait dating back to the 1840s that fused fingers and toes into claw-like formations. His dad already performed in a traveling freak show, so Grady began early as the Lobster Boy. Later, Grady and his 2 youngest children toured as the Lobster family, but behind the scenes, he was a violent alcoholic who regularly abused his wife. In 1978, on the eve of his eldest daughter's wedding, Grady shot and killed her fiancé, an 18-year-old he despised for calling him a freak. Grady claimed self-defense and was convicted of third-degree murder, with testimony from a carnival fat lady and a bearded woman. Due to lack of facilities equipped for his condition, he was sentenced to house arrest and probation. In 1992, his wife and stepson hired performer Wang to murder him. Wang shot him in the head while he watched TV. Only 10 people attended his funeral. Number 3. Annie Jones. Annie showed signs of hypertrichosis as a child, a condition that led to excessive hair growth. By the time she was 5, a beard had developed, which brought her to the attention of P.T. Barnum. She soon joined Barnum's American Museum, becoming one of his most popular attractions. Audiences were fascinated not only by her unusual appearance, but by her intelligence and charm, qualities that set her apart. Throughout her career, Annie embraced the title of Bearded Lady with confidence, traveling across the country and performing for captivated crowds. She lived during a time when sideshow performers were often treated as oddities, yet Annie's composure and talent made her a respected figure. She challenged Victorian notions of femininity and appearance, showing resilience in the face of constant scrutiny. Annie is remembered as one of the most iconic women of the sideshow era. Number 2. Lavi Vallet Charmion. Lavi, better known by her stage name Charmion, was born in 1875 and became a renowned trapeze artist and vaudeville performer. She stunned audiences with her daring acrobatics and displays of strength, challenging traditional views of women in performance. One of her most sensational acts involved removing layers of clothing while performing stunts high above the stage, a routine that caused a stir and secured her fame at the turn of the 20th century. She appeared in theaters, circuses, and vaudeville shows, her daring presence drawing admiration and controversy in equal measure. She stood out not only for her athleticism, but also for defying gender expectations of the time, proving that strength and artistry were not only male domains. Her career inspired many women who saw in her a model of courage and independence. She is remembered as a pioneer of her craft, a performer who broke barriers with style and boldness. Number 1. Johnny Eck. Johnny Eck, born in Baltimore in 1911, was an actor and sideshow performer who lived without the lower half of his torso. Despite his condition, he refused to allow it to limit his life. He became celebrated for his dazzling acrobatics, agility, and magnetic stage presence, astounding audiences wherever he performed. Johnny's talents extended far beyond sideshows. He was also a gifted painter, musician, and filmmaker, expressing his creativity across multiple fields. His fame increased dramatically after starring in Todd Browning's 1932 film Freaks, where he displayed not only his physical uniqueness, but his skill, charisma, and wit. He became a symbol of perseverance, challenging conventional ideas of normality and inspiring countless individuals. Johnny Eck is remembered as more than a performer. He was an artist, an entertainer, and a man whose resilience and originality left an enduring legacy. His life remains a testament to determination and talent that transcended limitations. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.